Did you know that the secret to raising your profits could be hidden in the top 20% of your customers? Today we're going to talk about the 80-20 rule, or called the Pareto Principle, and how that will affect how you continue to price your garments, as well as your overall pricing, and how often you raise your prices, and how you can get your head around raising prices even though you've just done it maybe 3 months ago. So we're going to talk about the 80-20 rule. Very, very, very powerful, and just a simple concept. Primarily, we're going to talk about how it affects your pricing, and we're going to talk about how also, but not as much detail, how it affects the rest of your business. So let's make no excuses. Let's move forward and let's make it happen. You are in the no excuse zone. Don't ever make excuses for anything. If it didn't make it, it didn't make it. You didn't follow through, I didn't follow through. I'm sorry. Do not make excuses. I was too busy. That's all bullshit, okay? Either you did it or you didn't do it, okay? No excuses. The only excuse is death. It might be a little bit radical, but that's how I feel about excuses. So, by the way, I'm Greg Colosi. Welcome back. I am one of you. I started my dry cleaning pickup and delivery business only in 1996. Sold it in 2017. My son didn't want to take it over. He was working for me for the 5 years previous. So I decided to go ahead and sell it. I did not own the plant. I ended up selling it to the dry cleaners that did all my cleaning for me. And there was no question about the revenue or how tight the routes were, because I only build tight routes, okay? This series is primarily about building your routes. And if you want a successful route, it's got to be concentrated. It's got to be tight. Can't be a Mickey Mouse route with 2 here, 2 there, and 3 over there, okay? So it is tough to keep margins high and customers happy, but here's the thing. 80% of your revenue will likely come, as I said, from 20% of your customers. Are you using this knowledge to price your garments and streamline your operations and your overall pricing? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use the 80-20 rule or the Pareto Principle to optimize your pricing and transform your business for good. So let's talk about pricing with the 80-20 rule. Look at your pricing structure. This is really good. Which services or items bring in the most revenue with the least effort? Dresses. Okay, you clean them and you put them in there. You know, I didn't own a plant, so I don't know what you call that thing, okay? It blows it out and boom, it dries it, and no effort at all. Sweaters, okay, they don't take much. You dry them and bing, they're ready. Shirts take a lot. Pants take a lot. So take a look at your pricing structure and which items bring in the most revenue with the least amount of effort. Dresses, suits, specialty items, okay? Raise those prices. Because you know who's buying those prices, or buying those items, or getting those items clean? Is the top 20%. And you'll understand this a little bit more in a moment, okay? But consider that, okay? You don't get much coming in, so raise the prices. That seems counterintuitive and like you're screwing your customers, but you're not, okay? You've got a business. You've got to optimize profit so you can pay your people better, pay all your suppliers. You know, every one of your costs is going up, especially in the last 4 years since COVID, okay? 5 years, 4 years. Now we're at the beginning of 2025. So it is your obligation to make as much profit and revenue as possible so you can pay for all these things. And you know what the other big benefit is? Your customer service and your quality is going to get better because you have more money to make things happen. And that makes a better customer experience, and that gets you more customers, okay? It's like a revolving wheel. get better at this. Because of that, you get better at this because you got the money, and then you get better at this because you got the money. Okay? Think about that, please. Very, very important. Very important. On the low margin items, if 80% of your items, so we're looking at our all the garments that we clean, okay? 20% of those give you 80% of your revenue, and you can probably guess what those are, okay? The shirts, the pants, all dry cleaned, all kinds of dry cleaning, that you do. You know what those items are, okay? The shirts, the pants. Shirts and pants are probably a big portion of that, okay? So find out what those 20% are that give you, find out the ones that don't get, that you don't, let me put it this way. 20% is the shirts and the other stuff, and find out what that number is, okay? And the rest, raise the prices. You're going, geez, Greg, now I'm raising prices on everything. Well, you'll figure it out, okay? And don't do it based on your comfort level. Your comfort level has nothing to do with your customer's comfort level. Do you think the top 20% of your customers, when they look at their credit card, say, oh my gosh, this costs so much more than it did last time? First of all, most of them are not even remember the detail. If you were to ask the top 20% how much you charge for shirts, maybe 1% knows, because they know those kind of things. They remember those kind of things. Maybe 5% at most know. And I'm just guessing here, but I'm guessing that 90% plus have no idea what you charge for a shirt, a pair of pants, or a suit, any of those, sweater, any of those other items. They have no idea whatsoever. So take your emotion out of it. What you think is too high has nothing to do with reality, okay? Zero, zip, zilch. Your customers know what's too high. And in this case, they're not even gonna think about it, okay? If their whole bill goes up, every quarter you should be raising your prices. Once you get your prices to a level, and if you want to talk to me about it, leave me a comment down below, and we'll hook up and I'll talk to you about it. And as part of that, we're going to record that so I can share that with others, okay? So if you think you need help raising your prices, I can help you do that. Okay, I helped somebody that was doing $4 million in revenue. Didn't raise their prices for like 3 or 4 years. Helped them, and their business took off. Okay, helped another guy in South Carolina, Pat Collins, was going bankrupt with his pricing. Okay, got him to raise his prices 15% immediately, right off the bat, or he was going bankrupt. And since then, 10 years ago, every quarter raises it 2.5%. Okay? Now, most of his business is routes, and I helped him do that also. And most of his 20% are on those routes that give him 80% of his business. But he raised his counter prices the same way. And listen to this. He told me, and it has no idea why, okay? But every time he raises his prices, which include his shirts, the shirt count goes up, okay? And none of this rounding off to $4.99 bullshit, okay? If it comes out when you raise your prices by 2.5%, it's $5.12. That's what you charge, okay? People look at it and go, maybe there's an art to the reason of why they're charging this way, okay? So it's not about being cheaper than the guy down the street, okay? It's about growing your business to the best of your ability for you, your family, and your employees. And the better you are at making profit, the better experience you can have and better quality you can have for your customers. Do you believe that? If you don't believe that, stop listening, okay? I'm not going to be able to help you. Who are your repeat high-spending customers, okay? Now, we all got software, okay? Smart's a very popular one out there. Plug it in. 80%, 20% of your business comes from how many of your customers? It's probably going to be 70% of your revenue. 70 to 80% comes from 20% of your customers, okay? Close enough. You get the idea. Route customers, for example, often generate over $100 a month or $1,200 a year. And they stay, I figured this out back in 2015, they stay an average of 6.7 years. A counter customer stays, by another one of my members, okay, 2.99 years or 3 years, let's say, and they spend about $20 a month, which is $240 a year, and they're only staying for 3 years, okay? So let's add that up. That's the lifetime value is roughly $750 for a counter customer, and the lifetime value is $1,200 times 7, $8,400 for a route customer, okay? And I'm guessing that the top 20% of your customers are bringing in, like I said, 70 to 80%. I get ahead of myself sometimes. You should think about when you're raising your prices. 20% of your customers are giving you 80% of your business, or 80% that give you 20% of your business. So when should you raise your prices? And why should you raise your prices? We just talked about it. The top 20% are not even going to know you raised your prices. And if there's some schmo that complains, it's probably one of those, they bring in 3 shirts a week type deal. You know those customers, okay? You don't discount them, but you don't give a shit about their opinion, because that opinion means nothing, means zero. And a lot of you dry cleaners get caught up with, you get 1 or 2 complaints from somebody coming in the store, and your biggest customers never complain about price, never, ever, ever, and you focus on that 3 shirt a week guy. Shame on you, okay? Get the emotion out of that. Slap yourself in the face, okay? Stop it. Stop it now, please. Oh, please stop that, okay? Thank you. Focus your marketing on those route customers who generate consistent revenue over time. These are the customers who truly drive your business forward, that top 20%. Focus your counter marketing to convert first-time customers to your route. If you're not following up with your new customers after their first visit, you're leaving money on the table. Get their name, phone, email, and you can do this easily with the new customer welcome kit. Don't have a video on that yet. If you want some information on it, leave a comment down below. The new customer welcome kit, okay, there's some candy in it if you want, or a puzzle, and then some information about your business. And then you ask them to fill out this form. 99% do. They give you their email. There's no question at all, okay? Very easy for your CSRs to do this. There's no selling involved. Easy peasy. The most important thing you can do at the counter, because it automatically happens at the route, is get their name, physical address, email, and phone number. I mean, a lot of you get the phone number because you have to get the phone number. Email is just or as more important than their, thank goodness we got texting, their phone number, okay? And their snail mail address, their home address. You can do mailers to them also, and sometimes we will do those, okay? But we're only gonna do that to the top 20%. We're not gonna send out special mailings to the bottom 80% of your customer base, because there's just not enough there to bring in any business, okay? Can you see how this is affecting the marketing of your business, okay? So what's eating up, here's the non-marketing part. Then we're gonna get back into the marketing in just a minute, okay? What's eating up 80% of your time for 20% of your results? It's tedious paperwork, wasting time on slow processes, okay? Have you ever read the E-Myth? Talks about systematizing your business, okay? Read the book, Michael Gerber, I believe his name is, or Gerber. Automate where you can, whether it's scheduling, customer reminders, or inventory management. Spend your energy where it matters most on growing the business, okay? You are not in the business. You are not in the dry cleaning business. You are in the marketing of your dry cleaning business. Invest in training your team. 80%, focus 80% of your training on 20% of the skills that make the biggest impact. Customer service and garment care expertise. Remember, the 80-20 rule isn't just theory. It's a tool to simplify and supercharge your business. Focus on what matters, pricing your garments for profit, servicing your high-value 20% customers, and running your operations like a well-oiled machine. No excuses, no wasted effort, just results. Okay? So, your marketing. You want to market to get in the highest potential customers. How do you do that? There's a very simple answer. Market to get people on your route, okay? You know where your route customers are. Hopefully you've got a route. If you don't have a route, it's the most expensive side of town, okay? So, with mailers to those areas and the bag drops to those areas, you want to focus on those, what are going to be your top 20% of your customers. That's where the money is, and that's where you go. We've got a lot of videos on that kind of stuff. Not too many yet. This is my 11th video, I think, but I do have one on bag dropping and how to do that to get your route customers. If this helped, drop a comment below, okay? I want to know what one part of your business you'll tackle first with the 80-20 rule. And in the description, there's a little link to subscribe to my newsletter. It's weekly, it's free, and just give me your name and email, and we'll get that out to you every single week. Grow your dry cleaning business now. Take some action right now. After you get off of this call, which is going to be any moment now, is pull out something wherever you take notes and put together some plans you're going to do over the next week or so. And then tell me in the comments that you did it and what's happening with it. And if you're having any challenges or it's working just fine. Okay? Make it a great day.